Yay!
It says I'm live.
And now?
And then, hold on.
I believe in you.
I don't believe in me. Okay, I'm not live yet on YouTube. But we're getting there. We're getting there.
The destination is YouTube.
The destination is YouTube.
Eventually.
Oh wait! I got a notification that I'm live
on YouTube.
Yeah, I think we're live.
Oh my god! Okay, that's happening.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go check on your YouTube channel and see.
Please do. Oh, I meant. Ryan says hi.
Hi, Ryan.
I want to swap this.
I'm not good enough for you? You want to swap where I am?
Yeah, so that I'm not looking out of the window. I'm looking at you.
And oh, yeah. Oh, we are live. Oh, I'm closing that. I hate that. That's so confusing to open that in a different window and see myself.
Yeah, you don't need to have the stream up.
No, I don't. I didn't like that. Can you tell I'm not a streamer? Can you tell I normally don't do this?
Dude, do you think I'm a streamer? It took me 21 minutes to set this up.
To get us in here. But now we are streamers.
Okay, I miss my lurkers. Come back and say hi.
Oh, yeah. No. They left because of... Send them the link.
No, they'll see it. Anyways, I'll do... Hi, friend. I'm not going to say hi yet. There's nobody here.
There's nobody here.
Hi, Ev.
Hi, bud. How's your week going? How you doing?
It is going. It is going. Hold on. I need to just mute that. Hold up. Okay. Hi.
Do you...
I need coffee.
I also need coffee. Got something in my throat. I think there's coffee grounds in my coffee now.
Is it because your AeroPress exploded while we were...
It's because my AeroPress exploded. It was really hard. Life is really hard, and I'm just a little guy.
You're just a little boy.
I'm just like so brave. I'm so brave.
You're so brave for being here with your exploded AeroPress coffee.
God gives his hardest challenges to his babyest little soldiers.
Do not.
To his bravest little boys. So are we writing or are we just dicking around?
I mean, we can chat. This is the first ever stream, so we can hang out for a sec before diving into writing. I have not written in a little bit. I won't lie. What are you working on?
I have a couple of things that I'm hoping to work on the stream here. I'm working on... I also haven't written in a hot minute. I haven't written anything. I haven't even written any poetry in a long time, which is my usual go-to.
Yeah.
So I probably won't be working on anything poetry related. I might edit a poetry collection. I might work on my tree planting collection at some point during these streams. Right now, I'm trying to get back into it by working on a Zero Stakes project. So I'm working on a piece of Hadestown fan fiction.
Yeah.
Which has about, so far, 400 words. And I don't care how many it gets to. There's no goal. It's just like, once it feels like complete, it's going to be complete. And I'll put it up to Archive of Our Own, and that's fine. You know, like, just to like, it's for me. It's not for anyone else. So it's my Hadestown fan fiction. I don't want to talk about the premise yet. Not till it's ready. That's fine.
That's totally fair.
And at some point, I'll be working on one of my two concepted and outlined novels. That might not happen. What are you working on? Are you working on Moldermouth?
I am working on Moldermouth. Sorry, I'm just saying that we're live on Instagram, so just give me a second here.
Yeah, do it. I'll check my phone too.
Okay, I'll just be quiet for a second.
No, I can keep talking since you're working. One of my outlined novels is called Briar, and it's...
Is that the one that I know about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a Sleeping Beauty retelling. It's about gaslighting.
I love that's the
pitch. That's the pitch
about gaslighting.
He straight up just gaslights her the whole time, and loosely about some other things, but most about gaslighting. And then my other one, which I've written various chapters about in various settings and like all over it. It's the kind of book where I've had it in my head for years, and then I keep starting it and then being like, it's not time. And the premise, it's a book about a webcomic artist. The main character is a webcomic artist, and she's going through a lot of, it's like a queer kind of YA romance about a webcomic artist is the concept, but I haven't written any of that one yet. Yeah. But we'll see if I ever write that one.
I need to grab the link for this live. I love the patience that everyone is showing.
They're not even here. You can't even say that to them live yet.
There's some people here.
Are they?
3. Yanni's here. Hello. There's 3 people here. Now there's 1 person here, apparently.
They left because you called them out. They were like, this sucks, actually. This stream sucks.
No! I'm just putting this on.
They're like,
yeah. Okay, hold on. This is so good. This is going so well.
This is going so good. It's only the first one.
Oh, I know. We're going to be experts by next week. Because this is a weekly thing. Did I mention that? Only if you watched my YouTube video yesterday. Okay, that is done. That's done. Stream. Yes, okay, I love your projects. I already knew about the Sleeping Beauty one, and I think you should write it because retellings are all the rage.
They're hot.
They're sexy, and everyone wants them. And then I think that so you said it's YA, the queer webcomic.
I mean, it's really, think like maybe not YA, more like Emily Henry.
Okay,
I would say would be the comp.
Any Emily Henry.
That's like what I read when I need something really light. I read like that kind of fluffy queer romance is like my go-to guilty pleasure, you know, when I'm like, oh, I can't read anything heavy right now. I'm gonna read an Emily Henry, and that'll just like feed my soul. So the concept is actually one that I concepted out years ago, and I wrote a whole outline, and I originally had visualized it as like a back and forth between, you get a chapter of, actually the more I think about it, the worse, it's not that light, it's not that fun. I'm not even sure it's a romance, but I'm like, so it could be.
You've just been gaslighting us this whole time.
No. Okay, so
I'm kidding, I'm sorry.
You're the worst. Okay, so the original concept I had was less Emily Henry, and the way I'm like, what if I just wrote it lighter? So the original concept that I had for it was, there's a webcomic artist, and she has just returned to her childhood, either home or cottage. I hadn't really decided, probably like cottage, in like a cottage town. And she's just gone through like a breakup or something in the city where she'd been living, and so she's returning back to an area. And I concepted this like a long time ago.
I was not gonna like
no. Let me tell you.
Is this fucking play about us?
Is this play about us? But I concepted this, and now I'm like, actually, I could write it better now. Whoops.
Welcome home, Ev. I've missed you.
Yeah. So the idea is that she's a webcomic artist. She's working on a webcomic, but her webcomic is sort of a dark fantasy, featuring like some teens, but draws heavily on her experiences as a kid. So she's put all of her like childhood summer friends in the webcomic, and is following like loosely based on events that happened to her, but no one who she's pulled on to write the story knows about it.
I love this.
And so she's meeting these people again and is like, oh, you don't know that you're in my webcomic, which is followed by thousands of people.
I love that.
And she's like, oh, I hate this.
I really hope that you write me into it, please.
Funny.
And I can be awful. I just want to be in it.
In my original outline, one of the childhood friends had also died in like, think a tragic bridge to Terabithia type thing. And
that
so she's processing, God, fuck. And so she's processing that trauma by like writing about it in her webcomic.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like, everyone really loves this character in my webcomic, and like, I don't want to kill them off, but like my original outline for the webcomic is that like they died because IRL, this friend died. And then the love interest / that other person was like the third friend from their like childhood trio, and the two of them are like both still processing losing that person.
Oh my God.
And then I hadn't quite decided on like what kind of tangly webs they all had, but it was very bisexual and that kind of like interconnected. We're all in love with each other, you know. And I couldn't.
Is it fucking play about us?
Is it fucking play about us? Maybe. But I was like, I couldn't decide if I wanted to go that direction because I wanted, if those two, like if they were endgame for a romance, I didn't want it to feel like they were together because they both wanted to be with someone else who was dead, you know? So I was still chewing on that, which is why I hadn't written it. And then I was like, this doesn't maybe have to be that dark. It could just be a cute thing about a webcomic artist.
That also just gave, even though it's not the same at all, but the last thing you said, like that they're just together because they both want to be with someone who's dead, gave me strong Steven universe.
Stop.
Did you make that connection?
So real. No, I hadn't. That's so funny. That's really funny. And I think it could be an interesting thing to explore, the idea of like you end up with someone who understands like your experiences better than other people, and like because you have this shared like experience together, and I think there is a way to build like a healthy relationship off of like shared experience that no one else understands because you get it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And there's a way for that to be like super unhealthy, you know? And so like that could be a really interesting narrative thing to play with.
Yeah.
So that's my other whip that is like, I keep rewriting the first chapter and then leaving it for 2 years and then coming back and being like, this first chapter sucks actually. Which is a terrible habit. So.
Good morning, everyone in the chat. Ev, I just sent you a quick Discord message as well, if you just want to check that out before we keep going.
Sure thing. My battery's dying. Gotta plug in. I'm not a streamer. I'm like on my laptop.
Well, I was gonna say, do you want to talk about your situation? Like, obviously, I know where you are and stuff. It's up to you. Like, not your situation. Like, tell me your life story. But like, where are you?
Hang on, let me just answer.
Hi, Netta. Thanks for coming back.
I'm in my van. I live in my van. Her name is Tina. I do van life full time. So I have my little workstation here, which is my little desk situation. I have a couch that turns into a bed, and then I have my kitchen over here. Yeah.
Cute.
It's very comfy. And I've been surprised at how easy it has been to make the transition to working remotely full time in my van, because
that's fantastic.
Like, I don't know, the way I think about it is like, I don't have that much space right here. Like, that's the ceiling. But if I was working at home, how much space do you need to work remotely? You sit at a desk and you don't need full standing room to be sitting at a desk working. So
truly, you probably, well, I guess my ceiling is higher, but I'm like in the front deck of my house, which is very small. And I did fix the window though, so I'm not freezing anymore.
Ryan fixed the window, you mean?
I don't, hey.
Ryan was really proud about it, so don't you like minimize his labor. He worked so hard.
Ryan worked very hard. Ryan fixed, he's not, you can for a second see him like through the window, because this window looks into my house and he's gaming. He's not watching this game. He doesn't care about us. He sees us all the time.
I can't believe he would be like, oh, I fixed the window.
I fixed the window. No, I did not.
You didn't. Liar.
Oh no, Ryan did respond. He said thanks, Ev.
Yes, you're welcome.
He's in the window. Get out of here. Ryan fixed the window. I didn't fix the window. Okay. Bye. You're also getting lots of compliments on your van in the chat. I know you're not looking at the chat, but
is there a way for you to look at the chat? Would I have to open? Maybe I'll open our stream.
In StreamYard, you can, if you hit comments, there should be up in the right.
Oh my God!
Do you hear my cat? She's screaming. Hey, Jones. Okay. Do you want to do some writing?
I think we should do some writing. I'm not going to work on either of the projects that I set up that I just said I was going to work on.
What are you going to work on?
What are you going to work on? Because you didn't talk about...
Right. I did not. I was doing tech. I'm working on my current whip, Molder Mouth, which is a little hard to say. I've realized now saying it out loud. It is a Lovecraftian, not sci-fi. I was going to say sci-fi. Who am I? It's a Lovecraftian, dark academia, horror, weird fiction situation. It is in the little baby phases right now. I have it plotted out and I've been writing it, but I am just kind of just going for it, not doing as much prep and setup as I would normally do. As you know, I completed a manuscript last year called Waypoint, and I'm very happy with that, but it was a huge project. I did so much research for it because it's all science space based. And then my next whip that I was working on was another sciencey submarine thing that involved a lot of research, and I was getting very burnt out on research. So I was like, hey, what if I just write some nonsense set in a school? I know school. And here we are.
I know how to write school.
I know how
I don't know if you're talking about this in public yet, but your other whip about ferryman?
Ferryman, yeah, I have another whip as well.
Are you still working on that, or if you don't want to talk about it on stream?
No, it's fine. So yeah, I have 4 whips technically, and if anyone's not a writer, a whip is a work in progress. So Waypoint is the completed one that was queried and did quite well, but did not ultimately get picked up, and I've just put that aside. Magdalena is my submarine one that I'm working on, and Ferryman is an epic fantasy that I'm working on. Both are at the same point, approximately, like same word count, but I've tabled both of them because they're both just huge projects, and I feel like I need something small currently. Mm-hmm.
And what I like about what I've seen of Moldermouth so far is that it feels like there's a lot of room for it to grow, but you're not stuck to any narrative, and it could be a short story, or it could be like a novella.
That's true.
Or it could be like a novella that then generates more novellas. Because what's nice about a setting is it can all be like, and then there was a mystery and we resolved it, and then there was another mystery. And
you'll see where it goes.
Short, yeah,
you're absolutely right. Because I remember I originally pitched it to you like 6 months ago or whatever. I pitched it to you, I think, as a short story. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm writing this short story, and then I pitched it again, and I was like, actually, I'm writing this novella, and then now I'm like, I think it's gonna be a full-length novel because I'm not good at editing down my work. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm working on today. We haven't figured out our structure of what we want to do. I have on sprints before, I usually write for 20 minutes.
Yeah. And like the Pomodoro structure, right?
Dude, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I've heard
MPub, bro. Actually, no, wait, I know it's not even an MPub thing.
It's not an MPub thing.
I actually feel like I saw that term, Pomodoro structure, for the first time yesterday, and I didn't click on it.
Wild.
So
it's the idea of doing 20-minute sprints and then 5 minutes. But Pomodoro, I think specifically, is an app that will track it for you and runs a little timer for you, and it's really cute. But I really like the 20-minute sprint, 5-minute break, 20-minute sprint, 5-minute break structure. It works really well for me.
Cool. So that is I wish you guys could see my cat right now. Jones, wait, you know what? I don't care about this webcam. Oh, of course she's gonna move. These are bags of clothes that I'm donating, and she has decided that that's her bed because usually she's on this desk. This desk is her home, and I have colonized it.
I can't believe you would steal her home.
I stole her land.
You stole her spot.
I stole her land. Okay. So, what time is it right now?
Do you want to set a 20-minute timer, and we could put some music in the background?
Yes, I can put music on the stream. but we can also listen to our own music.
Okay, I'm so glad that I can see the comments now. John is saying they had a story that turned into a novel as well. I had a query suggest to rewrite and a polite refusal. I'm going to try small presses. I mean, like, a suggest to rewrite and a polite refusal is so normal. I guess people in your stream don't know that I work in publishing.
No, I haven't mentioned that. Ev has a master's of publishing or whatever it's called, but, you know, a master's in publishing.
No, it's master's of publishing.
Okay, yeah, and is in the industry. I also haven't even mentioned we're childhood best friends, and that's...
Yeah, and we have matching tattoos.
We do. Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, but, like, honestly, getting a polite refusal and like suggestions back is huge, because like half the time when I've sent stuff in, it's like you get nothing, and that's really normal. So like hearing that, I don't know.
Okay, oh God, I missed a keyword. I cannot now add music, it looks like.
Okay.
Because again, I decided to do all of this. I learned how to use StreamYard while streaming.
On stream. You know what? It's a growth mindset.
Yeah. So let's just write. And,
all right. That's for me.
And I'm going to put on some of my own music. I'm going to listen to medieval lo-fi, because that's my jam when I'm writing.
I think I have to listen to Hadestown. I think I'm contractually.
Yeah, if you're working on your Hadestown thingy. Wait, did you talk about that on stream?
No, I didn't when people were actually on stream. So the thing I'm working on today, which is neither of my whips, which is stupid, but it's fine. I haven't written in a long time. I've been really like in the industry side for quite a while and like writing academically a lot. So I'm trying to just get back into that sense of wanting to write stuff. And I did an undergrad in creative writing, and that burned me out so hard. So like I found, at least in the culture of the space that I was in, the workshops were very like ego focused. It was very like, well, I'm going to be a successful writer, not like you clowns, you know, like it could get very toxic in some spaces. And it was a lot of like authors coming and being like, you're fucked. Good luck. So all of the authors we had come and talk to us were like, everything's broken and you're never going to make money as a writer. And we were like, cool, why are we paying money for this program? Thank you. It sucked. Well, no, it didn't. Sorry, Dalhousie University. I love you. You're great.
Yeah, they're watching. Dallas here.
Dallas here watching. Shantae Grant is here. No, Shantae Grant was great. Anyway, the profs were great. The program was just like crushed your soul a little bit, you know? So after my creative writing undergrad, I didn't write for a long time. And then I got really into writing fan fiction just as an adult, which I'd never done as a kid. And I found it really freeing just to be able to be like, I'm going to write this and it's just for me. And then I'm going to like, I'm not even going to edit it. I'm not going to query it. It's just going to go on the internet and people might read it or they might not. And I found that just like really rewarding that like a community of people then like give me feedback and we're like, hey, I really loved reading this. It made me feel XYZ. Like I find it a really calming, low stakes way to write and a really nice way to sort of an entry back into writing other things. So I'm working on a Hadestown fan fiction for the musical Hadestown. So it's a Hades Persephone story, but it's not like my own original retelling. I'm just like playing in the structure. Because I saw, my sister and I went and saw Hadestown live last month, and the woman who was playing Persephone was unhinged. Like she, at one point, she bent over all the way backwards, like full backwards, and then held like a high note for like 8 bars, bent over backwards. And I was like, you're insane. And she was playing Persephone as just like unhinged, which I loved.
And I was like, unhinged FMC.
Right? And so I'm like, I'm gonna write her story for Hadestown if like she was behind it all. Yeah. So I'm working on that.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Oh my God, sorry. I'll tell you the other story.
Yeah, we'll save some of our talking for later. It's going to be 8:45 in 1 minute.
Okay.
And that's a good starting place because I like to do things on the minute. But let me set a timer. It's 8:45. Okay, we are going to stop talking.
Go.
It has been 20 minutes. You are muted.
Let me finish this sentence. I've also got... I wish I could share my music because it's like, we love Hadestown. Okay.
Can, but also.
How is it going over there?
So I wrote nothing, but the reason is because it's been so long since I've looked at this. I'm like, I need to read back the last 2 chapters I wrote. And honestly, like, I'm really happy. I have not read it back since writing it. And I was reading it back and I was like, this is a real book.
Yeah.
Which is good. I was like, damn, I'm a good writer.
Damn. I love that for you. That's the best. I also did a quick reread, but I had like not very much to begin with, but I think I just about doubled what I had. So
hello everyone, welcome back. Everyone who came back after the little pause there. Next time I'll have music playing on the stream.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Did you finish your sentence?
I did finish my sentence.
Cool,
yeah. I'm glad you're happy with Molar Mouth.
I'm really happy with it. I'm surprised because so I wrote the first chapter, ages ago, and I gave it to Ryan before I gave it to you, and he was reading it, and he was like, honestly, best compliment ever. He was like, this is like a real book. And I was like, nice. Yes. But I gave him the second chapter, and he was like, not so much. And I was like, shit. So I rewrote the second chapter, and I've written a third chapter, and I was just reading it back, and I was like, huh.
Oh, Ryan. Ryan in the chat.
Thanks, bestie. Yeah, so I'm feeling good about it. Feeling happy about it. But there's a part that I wrote, and I remember writing it, and I'm like, where was I going with that? What is the implication of this thing that I've written? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, it was like, I'm clearly setting up a reveal, but what's the reveal? I don't recall.
I forgot.
I do not recall.
That's what outlining is for.
When I specifically did not outline this.
Yeah.
I did. I have like the basic. Actually, what I did for this one, what I normally do when I'm writing is I know certain scenes that I'm working towards. Mm-hmm. And that's the outline. The outline is like, here's a list of scenes that should be in this book. How do we get to them? And that's different than my normal process, which is very much, I write a to-do list for every chapter. And I write, because we were talking about this at breakfast the other day, where I write chronologically. I cannot change that. I have to write in order chronologically, to-do list of every plot beat. And you're like, I just write what I want to write.
Yeah.
Going back and forth, future.
And I'm up and down. Like I sort of like have about 4 different sort of paragraphs or scenes or little mini chapters in this so far. And I just I hop back and forth between them, and I expand them and and then I'll be like, oh, and then I'll take an idea that I'm expanding here and I'll move back up here. And sort of as I go, the themes and like the push of the whole story is unfolding itself with me, like I'm discovering it as I go. I'm discovering what I want to say as I go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is so different from your process.
Very
your
different.
Process would stress me out.
Your
process so valid, but it would stress me out.
No.
You're so valid and I love you, but you're so stressful.
Which one of us has published work? It's you.
Oh, I forgot. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's you.
No.
Funny.
I have published nothing, and you have published 2 things. How many things? I'm thinking of your poetry, and I'm thinking of, I guess I'm thinking of your
poetry is like a very different beast, though, right? And like that's the true. Way I write is often like is a very, or at least it seems to me like a very poet way to write, because like I've published about 4 different poems in different collections.
I was thinking of Conversations with the Ocean.
Yeah, that's just the one thing though, and that's not trad published, so it's different.
It physically exists, and
it does physically exist in the world. That's true. I mean, I think
2 copies of it in my home.
I also think that like when we talk about if someone's published as like an ego thing or like a clout thing. Like, I don't know. It's kind of meaningless because like when I think about the things that I'm actually the most proud of, I think about my novel length fan fiction, right? Which like a lot of people have read, like a couple 100,000 people have read that. And that's crazy to me. Like if you had a book that did that well, you'd be like, we're living, you know, you'd actually be getting royalties if that many people bought a book. But like, and there are some people who are really prolific fan fiction writers who aren't in it to make money, but their writing is good. And like, it's out there in that same way. Like people are reading it. It's just not like physically out there. So I don't know.
You should make a bound edition of your
Stop. I will never do that because I wrote it like 7 or 8 years ago and I read it back and I'm like,
but people love it.
Yeah.
Yes, John. If you're published yourself, you're an author. Everyone else are writers. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I agree with the first part of that. I agree with both of it, but specifically the first part, I'm like, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's been 5. It's been
5. Should we get back into it?
Yeah. Because we started late, we should get back into it. Next week we will, because this is a weekly thing. I'm having a lot of fun. Next week we will start at 8 because I will know what I'm doing. Look, it was one of those things where, because I have so much to do today that I was like, I will prep nothing. That's the solution. Nothing. Because I'm doing a live after this on Instagram or not for me. I'm being hosted for Readsy Discovery to talk about the reviewing process with them. Yeah, it's really exciting. And they sent me prep questions. I haven't read them. I'm like, I have so much to do. I'm not going to read them.
Maybe the next half hour of productivity is that you read the questions.
That's true. I did call this a productivity stream, not a writing stream.
Not necessarily a writing stream.
No, I have that's what I do. So I have time to read the prep questions. But
okay, wait. But I did need to tell you about what I did yesterday and why I was so sleepy when I first came on the stream. So my friends hosted a Lord of the Rings feast along, which meant that at 10 a.m. we started the extended edition Fellowship of the Ring. And at about 11 p.m., we finished Return of the King. So it was a full, all 3 extended editions marathon. And because I work from home, I was able to go to the whole thing. And so I was in the back like, but my friend Drew was in the kitchen the whole time and they had a whole schedule going. So they were like, when this happens in the movie, that's when the bacon has to start. For us to then pull out the bacon when they go, do you want tomatoes and bacon on Weathertop? So they had it all timed out. So when on Weathertop, they're having tomatoes and bacon and sausages, they're like, bacon and tomatoes and crispy sausage. They're like, we got it. And so whenever any of the hobbits eat anything, we eat the same thing. And like when Bilbo's birthday cake came out, Drew had made this huge layered cake that looked just like the cake. And like there was 3 different kinds of soups. Nice. There's the it was so much fun. Oh my god. And I ate so much food.
Did you eat man flesh?
Yes.
What?
Meat's back on the menu. Drew had like
man flesh.
She had done like potatoes in beef tallow drippings earlier. And so the meat that she had made the beef tallow drippings, it was like unidentified looking meat. But it was so good. And it was so good when they're like, meat's back on the menu, and we all went, and we ate the meat. There was the 3 soups. There was like when Gollum brings the rabbits, they had gotten a friend of theirs hunts rabbits, so they had a wild rabbit that Drew had fully prepared and made into a soup, and it had potatoes in it because Sam says that you have to
boil them, mash them, stick them in a
stew. And it was and like Drew is a genius cook, so everything was so good. And she was also like, you know, when Aragorn eats the soup that Eowyn has made and is like, it's good, and throws it out. Drew was like,
bad soup?
No. Drew was like, I refuse to make a bad soup. So she was like, she did it as a soup with things that people wouldn't like. So it was like a Thai soup with like cilantro and like Brussels sprouts,
like classic,
and tofu and things that would be like, if you didn't like cilantro, you wouldn't like this soup. So Aragorn doesn't like cilantro is the new canon. And he just couldn't handle a Thai soup, and he thought it was bad, but it was a good soup.
Any ethnic soup, Aragorn can't.
Aragorn was like, I can't do this.
Oh, my neck just cracked. I'm trying to think
Anyway,
about
it
any other
was.
weird foods. But did you have the long bottom leaf? That's not a food, I guess.
Oh yeah, one of the people in the room was doing a smoke along. So whenever somebody smoked, he was like wrecked by the end because Gandalf spends like the whole Fellowship of the Ring puffing.
Yeah. You could also obviously do like an ale along.
Oh yeah, and we were drinking whenever like there was mead, we were having the correct drinks as well. Or like Denethor's Grim Dinner. They brought out the cold chicken. You forgot. I kept forgetting, and they would bring out more things, and I'd be like, Jesus. Or like when they're going up Mount Doom, and Sam goes, "Do you remember the Shire, Master Frodo? The taste of strawberries." And then they fucking brought out strawberries and cream, and I was like, Drew, what are you doing? How did you do this? It was amazing. It was the best concept for Lord of the Rings marathon I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And the food was and like the charcuterie just kept coming. Because there's just so many pubs, and they'll be like, oh, and then there's sausages and cheese, and you're like, okay, another little charcuterie for me. We did have mushrooms. We did have mushrooms. They pick mushrooms at one point, and then they get fried up into a soup later.
Yes. Yeah.
So
when they fall down the cliff, they're like, mushrooms.
Yeah. There was a mushroom moment. It was like kind of to die for. So this morning I was like, I'm a slug because yesterday I worked my full day and I marathoned all of Lord of the Rings, and I ate so much food. It was so good.
Where was my invite, first of all?
So many people wanted to bring +1s, and they had to be like, no +1s. We're already catering this for 20 people. It was like very invite only, and I was like, I'm so lucky to be invited to this.
Yeah, that's so fun.
It was awesome. Anyway, highly recommend Lord of the Rings Eat Along. Really, really choice.
We should do another. We should do another 20 minutes. I think we'll go past 9:30.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we can at least have.
Sorry, I talked for 10 minutes. We were supposed to take a 5-minute break, but I really wanted to tell you about this.
Yeah, I asked you to save it for the stream. You could have told me earlier. So we'll just start right now, and then
perfect
at 9.
But it's 9:17. Is that going to be stressful for you?
Yes, but I will do it.
Let's go till 9:40.
Okay, 9:40.
3 minutes.
We shall come back.
Jill?
We're not going to say who this is because their full name is there.
Yeah.
But hello, Jill.
Towels and orange juice. What were we watching?
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Well, you weren't there. The full day marathon was me and my dad. He pulled me out of school. But then our families, except for Annie had to go upstairs. Your little sister had to go upstairs and watch her own stuff because she was too young.
Because Lord of the Rings was too violent.
Well, she was like 6.
Yeah. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill. Yeah, she was like 6, so she was not watching with us. But our families, your brother.
I do remember that. It was a good time.
I don't think my mom.
But I think that's the last time that I watched Lord of the Rings in full. Like, I haven't marathoned it since then. And that was like 20 years ago. That was a long time ago. Yeah. That's the last time I know. You're wearing all your Lord of the Rings stuff.
I watch it every few months.
I know you do. And I just I hadn't watched it in a long time. And I was like, I forgot like a lot of things.
Oh my!
And it was the extended edition, and I'm not actually sure I'd ever watched the Return of the King extended edition before because I don't think
you would have seen it with you watched it. I remember you did
20 years ago.
20 years ago. Okay, well if we wait one more minute, then it will be 20 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, we'll be quiet for another minute.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna start.
Yeah, let's just start. I'm gonna mute myself again. We will be back at 9:40, and that will be us wrapping up the stream because we're going a little overtime. It is 9:40.
Already? What is happening?
I know, that was fast. That was quick.
Fast.
I wrote time though. Yeah. I meant to ask what program you write in, but also like the stream's over. So
fine. I mean, whatever. I write in OneNote because I'm a clown.
Oh, buddy.
I know.
You're trying, sorry.
It's genuinely the worst possible thing to write in.
Why? Why do you write in OneNote? Enlighten me, please.
Because I outline in OneNote, and I really like the way that you can create like subfolders. And so I outlined there, and then I ended up writing in there. It's usually where I write poems because you can put things in folders and find them really easily. And then when I write short stories, I end up in there because all of my notes are in there. When I've written longer stuff, I write in Google Docs, which is also an insane move. What do you write in?
I write in Google Docs.
Okay, good.
Also, and I was just thinking about asking because I wanted a synonym for a word, and on Word you just highlight, right click synonym, and it gives you them. Google Docs don't do that, and it bothers me so much.
I always just open a new tab and start Googling for like synonym for dark.
Yeah.
Synonym for river starting with P.
Yeah. I actually took a moment out of that to just open up a list of Italian surnames, because I have a bunch of like nameless, like they could be nameless characters, but if they appear more than once, or if they have a short bit of dialogue with the setting, it's boys being boys, so they call each other by their surnames.
Yeah. They all gotta have their.
And I'm like, oh god, this one kid that's gonna have the shortest conversation needs a name now.
What's his name now?
Gallo.
That's my new Blorbo, Gallo. He's my new favorite character.
No, he shouldn't be.
He is. Gallo's my boy.
You'll never see him again. This was his only scene.
But you know, I come from the Star Wars, where it's like, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a Blorbo. Did I tell you I was reading From a Certain Point of View?
You did not, but those...
Oh my god, so funny. They have 40 different writers, including Hank Green, and each writer just picks a background character from The Empire Strikes Back. So there's a whole short story about the one boy with his gay crush who shoulders in between Han and Leia when they're arguing.
Yeah, I remember.
He's my new favorite boy. I'm like, that's my... Star Wars is great because it's Blorbos all the way down. All the way down.
Almost picked up the Return of the Jedi one, because Olivia Blake has a story in it for some reason, but it didn't. That's my story. I almost read the book and then I didn't.
Yeah, fair. I picked it up partially because Star Wars and partially because Hank Green, and then Catherine M. Valente has one in there, and somebody else that I was interested in reading. Anyway,
there's some good authors in those.
There's some good ones. Yeah, I need to return to the library actually. Okay.
We are over time for the stream because we started 20 minutes late, because I am a fool and I did not do any prep for this. Next Friday, we're going to do this again, and we will start at 8 a.m. EST. I love that people are here.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I actually got a lot done. I'm gonna send you the draft of what I wrote, because I want your thoughts on it.
I'll send you what I wrote. Oh, there's a bumblebee outside my window. I'll send you my stuff too. But yeah, we will be back next Friday, June 14th. Yep, June 14th at 8 a.m. I'm going to end the stream now. Thanks everyone for coming out. Ev, you can stay for the StreamYard. You don't have to go. Okay. So I always do that when I end the stream. I'm like, bye, and then I leave, and then the host is like, no, you stay.
No, you don't go.
Oh.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, friends.